When the mega powers explode.
I'm talking about the 80s. Oh, yeah.
Great Scott!
Cream of the crop. Oh, yeah.
Mega powers, yeah!
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
So the thing that really hurts this movie is that there's none of the like fat Italian guy actors playing the fat Italian guys who show up later in this movie. And that I think is the biggest thing that hurts it. And the reason is they were all working on Goodfellas.
Yeah, they were already
every
in Goodfellas.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there were no fat Italian guys left to be like, oh, it's Terry and Todd, but what's his
Vinny,
right? That's the character. Yeah. Like, oh, it's Vinny. What are you doing here in my pet shop, Vinny? You're like a guy in like a tank top, like a big gold chain, a lot of chest hair, and like a black hair that you could rest a bowling ball on top of.
Yeah.
There's none of those guys. Yeah. Well, I'm just getting it across for the people at home. There's just none of those guys. And I called out a couple of the actors in particular as we go along that we'll get to when I get to my notes. But it's just like some of these guys are good character actors, but none of them are Italian looking guys. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is, that it just doesn't feel very Italian.
No.
Which I guess it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
it really shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it just like doesn't feel. I don't buy it.
Well, because it's spoofing a very specific type of movie and doesn't get the, like, we've talked about this a lot with the spoofs, where it's like the key to a good spoof.
Would you call this a spoof?
Kind of. Like, it's almost doing, this could almost be read as like the spoofy version of Goodfellas. Maybe spoof is the wrong, like, I wouldn't say this movie is a spoof, but it's sort of doing, like, it's sort of playing by those rules to do. It's like, oh, we're taking this movie archetype that the mafia movie, and we're doing the comedy version of it. And so it's not fully in spoof territory, but it's like, if you take some of those ideas,
it's adjacent, I guess.
Like, yeah, if you nail the little pieces, it makes the bigger picture work better. Like, you got to get the small details to make the big picture work. And I feel like the casting of a bunch of like generic dudes as opposed to the Goombas that we're looking for.
Yeah. Like, how good would Joe Pesci have been as Vinny?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Obviously,
it would have been delightful.
He was busy in the more prestigious picture, which I get.
Right.
Also, he probably wasn't in his comedy era yet.
No,
because he did the pivot, right?
He's doing a funny, like, he is the funny character in Goodfellas, but he is a complete
funny.
He's a complete sociopath. Like, that's a scene like the one you just described that I think people just like remember in a way that is
that Goodfellas? The haha funny?
Yeah. That scene is terrifying. It's true. It's like a Patrick Bateman-esque character turning on a dime and just laser focusing on one person, and you're watching that person go like, "Oh, he's gonna kill me." Like, oh, he's gonna murder me.
That also happened in Birds of Prey. There's like a very uncomfortable nightclub scene where Ewan McGregor's character, like, he owns the nightclub. He forces this woman to stand on a table and cut off her dress in front of everyone, and it's like chilling. But then there's all these neckbeards of the internet like, he's not scary, and I was like, then you're not watching.
Yeah.
Then you're not paying attention.
That character and that performance in that moment is like very reminiscent of the Pesci character for the whole Goodfellas.
I mean, that's what I assumed.
He's a whack job. Yeah.
Dissecting the 80s is a Chum Some of This production.